What if the hand you've trusted your entire life suddenly decided you were the enemy? Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2:16 in the morning. In a quiet suburban bedroom, a security camera's red light blinked steadily. Mark Halpern, 49 years old, senior accountant at Midwest Logistics, slept on his back. His CPAP machine hummed softly. His dominant right hand rested limp on the sheet beside him. Then it moved. The fingers flexed with surgical precision. They tested the soft cloth restraint Laura had knotted around his wrist before bed. The hand worked the knot methodically, like it had practiced. It slipped free. Mark remained asleep. Eyes closed, chest rose and fell evenly. The hand rose, paused, then glided toward his throat. The thumb found the soft hollow below his jaw. Fingers curled around his windpipe. It squeezed. Mark's brain woke before his body could. His eyes snapped open to pure animal panic. His left hand clawed desperately at the right, nails digging into his own skin, but the right hand held firm, pressure built. Veins bulged in his forehead. His legs kicked wildly. The lamp crashed to the floor. Glass shattered. He rolled sideways, slamming his right arm against the nightstand edge. Pain shot through his elbow. The grip finally broke. He gasped for air, face turning purple. Laura burst through from the back room, hair wild, eyes wide. She saw the deep finger marks blooming purple on his neck. His right hand, inches from his throat, fingers still flexing, searching for purchase. "It wasn't me," Mark croaked, voice barely audible. This is Diagnosis Glitch. This was the story of a man whose own body turned into his stalker. To understand the nightmare that unfolded, they needed to go back 6 weeks. Mark Halpern lived by numbers. 49 years old, right-handed, meticulous block printing on every form. He balanced books for Midwest Logistics, tracking shipments from Chicago to Fargo. His home was a split level in Edina, mortgage half paid, yard maintained. Married to Laura, 45, surgical ward nurse at Fairview. 2 kids, Megan, 17, AP biology star dreaming of pre-med, Ethan, 10, obsessed with Minecraft and Lego sets. Mark wasn't perfect. Untreated hypertension from too many energy drinks during quarter close, sedentary desk hours, borderline cholesterol. But he woke at 6, black coffee, eggs, drove the kids to school. Normal life. Boring life, even. Until it wasn't. That Wednesday morning during quarter-end crunch, Mark sat at his desk, Excel open, reconciling freight invoices. His right hand lifted his stainless steel coffee mug. Halfway to his mouth, it slipped, shattered on the carpet. Dark roast pooled around his loafers. He stared, confused. His mouth opened to call Sarah from accounting. Words jammed. SAR slurred out. His face felt heavy on the right. Arm wouldn't lift. Sarah looked over, saw the droop, the confusion. She hit 911. Stroke code activated. Paramedics found Mark conscious but slow. Fast protocol confirmed. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time critical. They wheeled him out past confused coworkers. ER at Abbott Northwestern. Doors flew open. Stroke team swarmed. CT scan showed a small ischemic stroke, a blocked blood vessel in the left frontal lobe near the anterior corpus callosum. Clot-busting window just met. 3 hours, 42 minutes from onset. TPA drip started, blood thinners loaded. Dr. Emily Chen reviewed the images. Lucky man, small stroke, minimal deficit expected. Mark spent 48 hours in stroke ICU, monitored constantly. Speech therapy, physical therapy. He had residual weakness in his right arm, mild coordination trouble. Discharge plan, atorvastatin for cholesterol, lisinopril for blood pressure, aspirin daily, outpatient rehab. No high-resolution MRI ordered. Standard CT caught everything. That's sufficient for now, Dr. Chen said. 4 days later, Laura helped him up the front steps. Megan hugged him gently, careful of his weak side. Ethan proudly showed off his new Lego Star Destroyer. Life resumed. Almost. But something felt wrong from the start. First physical therapy session in their living room. Mark gripped the therapy putty with his right hand. Strength tested normal, but when he tried to roll it between his fingers, the hand froze. Then flung the putty across the room, hitting the television. Muscle memory glitch, the therapist said. Your brain's rewiring pathways, common in recovery. 2 days later in the kitchen, Mark reached for a glass in the cabinet above the sink. His right hand sailed past it, closed on empty air, then knocked the glass sideways. It shattered in the sink. Clumsy from the stroke, Laura said, sweeping up shards. Your coordination will come back. Occupational therapy noted inconsistent fine motor coordination, grip strength normal, just unpredictable. Mark accepted the explanations. Stroke recovery, expected. Then came the night that planted real doubt. 2 a.m. Mark woke shivering. The blanket lay crumpled on the floor. His right hand rested on his chest, palm up, fingers slightly curled, as if it had just released something. He pulled the blanket back up, told himself it was restless sleep, rolled over. But he lay awake another hour, staring at his hand in the moonlight, wondering what it had been holding. The strangeness escalated. One morning in the kitchen, Mark reached for a paring knife to cut an apple. His right hand rotated at the last second, grabbed the blade instead of the handle, sliced deep into his palm. Blood welled up bright red. He dropped the knife, staring at the cut. He hadn't chosen that movement. It felt done to him. Pay attention, Laura said, bandaging it. But her eyes lingered on his hand a second too long. That evening in the living room, Mark's left hand held the TV remote, scrolling to the Twins game. His right hand snatched it away, flipped channels rapidly, news, cartoons, infomercials. He grabbed it back with his left. The right hand took it again. He had to pin his right wrist under his left knee to watch the inning. Mark told no one. Shame burned in his chest. Was he losing his mind? He made a neurologist follow-up appointment. Dr. Chen's office. Mark described it plainly. My right hand moves on its own sometimes, grabs wrong things, undoes what I'm doing. She nodded, scanning his chart. Post-stroke motor planning issues. Your brain's corpus callosum took a hit. That's the highway between hemispheres. Add stroke anxiety, hypervigilance about normal movements, and it feels like your hand has a mind of its own. She prescribed occupational therapy twice a week. Added low-dose sertraline for anxiety. Give it 3 months, you'll smooth out. Laura, the nurse, nodded along. Makes sense. Brain healing's messy. Mark doubted it, but who argues with a neurologist? No one ordered advanced imaging. Insurance wouldn't cover it for mild residual symptoms. Then came the first real violence. 3 weeks post-stroke, 2 a.m. again. Mark woke in that heavy paralysis between sleep stages, aware but body slow to respond. His right hand was already clamped around his own throat. Thumb pressed precisely on his carotid artery. Fingers dug into flesh, squeezing. He couldn't breathe. His left hand clawed slowly free, pried at the wrist. Rolled off the bed, dragging his right arm against the frame. Elbow cracked against the wood. The grip broke. He gasped on the floor, bruises rising. Laura ran in, saw the purple finger marks, his right hand flexing beside his head, fingers curling like it searched for another throat. It's trying to kill me, Mark gasped, voice hoarse from crushed windpipe. Laura stared at the bruises, called 911. ER at Abbott again. On-call physician examined the neck marks, hooked Mark to monitors, asked Laura privately, domestic dispute? Self-harm? She shook her head violently. He's fighting his own hand. Psych consult ordered. Chart note, patient reports hand acting autonomously. Consider parasomnia, post-stroke depression with dissociative features, or conversion disorder. They ran blood work, EKG, all normal except elevated cortisol from stress. Sent home with Ativan prescription, sleep study referral. Alien hand syndrome extremely unlikely. Presentation doesn't match. Mark started hiding incidents. At work, his right hand closed Excel files mid-calculation, deleted entire columns of freight data. He retyped everything left-handed, told coworkers he sprained his wrist. What Mark had was real. Alien hand syndrome, a rare neurological disorder where one limb performs complex purposeful movements without conscious control. Most common after damage to the corpus callosum, the brain's main highway connecting left and right hemispheres, or the supplementary motor area. In 1994, a Yale study documented the first clear case. Patient RB had his corpus callosum surgically split to treat epilepsy. Post-op, his left hand grabbed objects unbidden. Button closed, his right hand just unbuttoned. Once reached for his wife's breast in public while his right hand pushed it away. RB called it the other guy. Mark's stroke hit similar territory. His left frontal lesion disrupted signals between intentional motor planning and conscious awareness. One hemisphere launched actions the other didn't recognize. The hand felt alien because, neurologically, it was. But Mark's case went far beyond grabbing cereal boxes. Dinner with the family, Ethan, 10 years old, walked behind Mark's chair carrying the salad bowl. Mark's right hand jerked outward, knocked the glass bowl. It shattered inches from Ethan's bare foot. Salad dressing splattered his jeans. Ethan screamed and dropped to the floor crying. Everyone froze. Laura snapped, "Mark, be careful," then saw his face. Pure terror, not anger. He stared at his hand like it belonged to a stranger. That night, Megan hugged him in the hallway. His right hand yanked her ponytail hard. She shoved him back. "Dad, stop it." Tears welled in her eyes. Mark's voice broke. I swear I didn't mean to." The family dynamic shifted overnight. Ethan flinched when passing behind Mark. Megan ate in her room. Laura slept with one eye open. Mark found the first note 3 days later, posted by his computer monitor. His handwriting, but heavier strokes. "You can't control me." He crumpled it, told himself subconscious stress. Next morning, bedside notepad. "Let go. Stop fighting." Letters cramped, like written under resistance. Laura found the worst one. Grocery list on kitchen counter. "They're safer without you," scrawled across Mark's neat cursive. She confronted him, voice shaking. "Mark, this stops now. We're getting you real help." Psychiatric evaluation at Fairview. Family reported aggression, bizarre notes, and self-injury. A psychiatrist saw a textbook case. Middle-aged stroke survivor, identity crisis, suppressed family anger externalized as the hand. Diagnosis, post-stroke depression with somatic delusions. Plan, Zoloft, 50 milligrams daily, weekly CBT. Consider antipsychotic if no improvement. No movement disorder consult, no functional MRI, just pills and talk therapy. Mark tied his right wrist to the bed frame each night with a belt, slept like a prisoner of his own body. Movie night. Ethan fell asleep on the couch, head on Mark's lap. Mark dozed off, snapped awake to his right hand hovering over Ethan's face, fingers slowly curling toward nose and mouth. He wrenched his arm back, dislocated his shoulder with the force. Hospital again. Orthopedic resident popped Mark's shoulder back. Psych note updated. Self-harm during dissociative episode, escalating risk to self and children. Laura got the quiet talk in the hallway. Consider keeping kids separate until he's medicated and stable. That night broke her. Mark on the floor, belt snapped, right hand locked on his throat. She'd pried it off herself, felt the unnatural strength, the fingers that kept clawing air after. Her nurse brain clicked. This wasn't depression. This was physical. Laura devised the plan. High-resolution security camera in their bedroom, timestamp overlay, infrared night vision, loose cloth restraint on his right wrist, enough to show struggle, weak enough to break on camera. "If it's me forgetting, I need to see it," Mark said, voice hollow. "If it's not, they need proof." The recorded night arrived. 2:11 a.m., Mark asleep on his back, breathing steady. 2:16 a.m., right hand flexed, tested the knot, worked it free systematically. 2:18 a.m., hand glided to his throat. Thumb hit carotid spot precisely. Squeezed. Mark's body jerked awake. Left hand clawed at the right. Clear struggle. Two limbs fighting. His face turned purple. Crucial moment. Right hand released briefly. Reached sideways. Grabbed bedside pen. Scribbled jagged words on notepad while Mark gasped, semi-conscious. Returned to throat. Laura burst in at 2:21 a.m. Wrestled it off. The footage captured everything. She drove to University of Minnesota Neuro Center next morning, bypassed Abbott. Different system, fresh eyes. Triage nurse rolled eyes at hand attack story until she watched 2 minutes of video. Room went silent. Neurology team ordered high-res MRI immediately. Focused on corpus callosum, supplementary motor area. Imaging revealed the truth. Stroke lesion extended into critical motor integration zones. Atrophy in frontal striatal circuits. Formal diagnosis: anterior alien hand syndrome secondary to a schematic stroke. Complex goal-directed, self-injurious, and heteroaggressive behaviors. Dr. Patel, neuropsychiatrist, explained, "Your stroke severed wires between intention and action. One hemisphere launches motor programs the other doesn't control or even see. The hand isn't possessed, but it feels identical. Prior psych labels, misattribution, classic rare neurology mask wandering as mental illness. Treatment started, no cure, risk management only. Behavioral, keep alien hand occupied, stress ball, towel, rolled washcloths constantly in palm. Nightly, padded oven mitt plus soft wrist restraint, no tight bonds, skin breakdown risk. Pharmacologic, clonazepam 0.5 milligrams nightly to blunt episodes. Botulinum toxin injections into right flexor muscles weakened grip strength by 40%. Low dose olanzapine, not for psychosis, but motor disinhibition. Rehab, mirror box therapy, visual feedback retraining, bilateral coordination drills. Mark improved fractionally, episodes dropped from nightly to weekly, but the hand never fully rejoined him. Fallout reshaped everything. Megan's guilt warred with flinching at twitches. Ethan locked his door despite understanding Dad's brain glitch. Laura checked camera footage obsessively, slept 4 hours nightly. Legal, psych notes purged, disability approved for neurological disorder, workplace settled quietly nearly $1.2 million to wrong account when right hand fat-fingered wires. System review found no malice, stroke care appropriate, follow-up failed rare syndrome recognition, insurance blocked advanced imaging, psych dominated once depression narrative locked in. Final morning, kitchen table, Mark's left hand held coffee, right hand in black padded mitt grip dish towel. Ethan worked math homework beside him. Normalcy. The mitt spasmed, fingers clenched towel hard, twisting like wringing a neck. Mark and Laura locked eyes. Ethan didn't notice. We trust bodies to obey. When stroke cuts the leash, your hand becomes patient assassin, always close, always waiting. This was Diagnosis Glitch, where your own nervous system turns predator.